Hi friends, welcome back to Parnika tutorials. In this video, I want to discuss what is a selector, what are the different types of selectors are there, and then I will discuss in detail about the simple selector and combinator selector. So I sincerely request everyone to watch the complete video. The CSS selectors selects the HTML elements for styling purpose. In an HTML, we will have various elements or tags, right? If you want to apply a style to them and if you want to select them, we can do with the help of the selectors. So they are used to select the HTML element you want to style. So for which element or for which tag you want to apply the style, that one you can select using the selectors. We can broadly classify the CSS selectors into 5 categories. One is simple selectors, second one is combinator selectors, third one is pseudo class selectors, fourth one is pseudo elements selector, and last one is attribute selectors. So we can broadly classify the CSS selectors into 5 types. Now let me discuss in detail about the simple selectors. The simple selectors selects the elements based on the tag, ID or class. So based on the tag you can select element, or based on the ID you can select an element. Based on the class you can select an element to style the elements in the HTML. Now let me discuss in simple selectors tag based or element based selector. The tag based or element based selector selects the HTML elements based on their tag name. Already we have discussed in the internal CSS, we have given the style tag inside the head tag. In that one, we have given the tag name and the corresponding style rules. So in the body session, whenever you are using the corresponding tag, the same style will be applied. So in the simple selectors, we have tag based selector. It selects the HTML elements based on the tag name. Let me discuss the generalized syntax of using the tag based selectors in CSS. So you will write the tag name and then you will write the property and the value, and with a semicolon another property and a value, and then finally you will end with a semicolon and close with the curly braces. So in the body session, whenever this tag name is there, the style rules will be applied to the tag. Now let me discuss this one practically with an example. Let me go to the desktop, CSS, let me click the new and click on the text document, and I will write selectors.html. So the file name is selector and extension is HTML. Now let me right click on this document, open with Notepad++, and then I will write the HTML program for it. So doc type HTML, and then I will open the HTML tag, and then let me close the HTML tag. Inside the HTML tag we will have two main tags. One is the head tag and the body tag. The head tag consists of the title, styles, etc. Let me give the title selectors in CSS. Let me close the title tag, and then let me open the style tag, and I will write the type is equal to text or CSS, and then let me close the angular brackets, and then I will write the tag name. Let me give the tag name as P. For the paragraph I want to apply the color, so color is equal to red, and then background hyphen color as yellow. So these are the two rules I am applying for the paragraph tag. And then I will open the body tag. In the body tag we will display the information, or we will write the information which needs to be displayed on the browser. Now I will write few paragraph tags. Hi friends, and let me close the paragraph tag, and then let me open again paragraph tag. How are you? And let me close the paragraph tag, and then I will write again paragraph tag. I am fine, and then let me close the paragraph tag, and then let me open some other tags to say that for this tag the style rules will not be applied. Let me write what are you doing, and then let me close the h1 tag. So what are the rules we have applied? This style rules will be applied to only to the paragraph tag. These rules will not be applied to other tags. If you want to observe, let me save this program and let me go to the desktop CSS and let me right click on the selectors.html, open with Google Chrome. Now let me refresh it. Why it is not working? Does I have saved it? Oh, I did not close the style tag. So these are the mistakes we will do. It will not give any errors, but it will not display the content. Now let me go to the browser and me refresh it. Now you can see we got the output as hi friends, how are you? I am fine in the red color. But we did not get the background color in yellow. What is the mistake has happened? Let me observe. We have written the spelling mistake. We should write background hyphen color. Let me save this one and let me go to the browser and let me refresh it. Now you can see whatever the content we are displaying using the paragraph tag, that tag only displayed the font in the red color and background color as yellow. In other tags, whatever the content we are displaying, the style has not been applied. So this is about the element based or tag based selectors in simple selector. Now let me discuss about the ID based selector. The ID selector uses the ID attribute of an HTML element to select a specific element. In HTML, every tag has an ID attribute. In that ID attribute, we can give a unique value. Using that unique value, we can select a element or tag in the CSS. Now let me discuss with a simple example. Let's take that I'm using a paragraph tag. I can use the ID attribute. Let me give the ID name as 1. And then I'm giving something like hi friends and let me close the paragraph tag, and again let me open the paragraph tag and let me give the ID as another one 2. Let's take that, and then how are you? Okay, and then let me close the paragraph tag, and similarly let me open some h1 tag, and for this one let me give the ID as 3, and then let me write I am fine, and then let me close the h1 tag. Now, if you want to apply a specified CSS rules based on the ID, you can do it. Suppose let's say that I want to use a specified rule for the ID 1. Then I need to give the generalized syntax as I need to provide the hash to differentiate this is an ID instead of a tag or an element. If I simply write 1, then CSS will consider or HTML will consider that 1 is an tag or an element. As there is no tag called 1, then it will not apply the style to that element. So instead of that one, to differentiate as it is an ID, I need to provide the hash, and then I need to apply the ID name, and then I need to write the certain rules: property value end with a semicolon, property value end with a semicolon. Like that you can provide a combination of property and values, and then finally you can end with a curly braces. Now whenever there is an ID for a particular tag, wherever the ID is equal to 1, for the tag this rule will be applied. And remember one important point: each tag should have a unique ID. Let's consider that for this paragraph tag P, you have used the ID as 1. In the same web page, you cannot use ID as 1 for any other element or any other tag. Even for the another P tag also, each tag should have a unique ID. To select an element with a specified ID, we need to write a hash character followed by the ID of the element. Look at here, I have used the hash, then I have written the ID of the element. So this is the generalized syntax of using the ID selector in CSS. Now let me discuss this concept with an example so that it will be clear for you. Let me go to the desktop, or let me open this one itself. Okay, we have a selectors.html. In this one I will use id based. So I will write id is equal to 1, and let me use another id. So id is equal to 2, because each id should be unique in a same web page. Then I will write id is equal to 3, id is equal to 3, and then for this one I will use id as some 4. Okay, now let me save it, and then here in place of using the tag based selector, I need to use the id based selector. So I need to use the hash, then the id. Okay, similarly let me copy this one and paste it here. I will use the id as 2. Okay, color I will use blue, and then I will not use any background color for this one. Now let me save it. Now this first style rule will be applied to the tag which is having the id is equal to 1. So hi friends will be displayed in red color and background color will be in yellow, and the second style will be applied to the tag which is having the id is equal to 2. So how are you will be displayed in blue color. If you want to observe, let me save it and go to the browser and let me refresh it. Now you can observe hi friends have been displayed in red color and the background color is yellow. How are you have been displayed using blue color. I am fine. What are you doing? Have been displayed with the default settings only, or default rules only. Okay, for these two tags we did not apply any CSS rules because they are having different IDs. So I hope it is clear for you how to use the ID based selectors. Now let me discuss in detail about the class based selectors. The class based selector selects HTML element with a specific class attribute. So in the tag based, we have selected an HTML element with the help of the tag. In the ID based, we have used the ID to select an HTML element. Whereas in the class based selector, we will select a HTML element based on the class attribute given in the element. If you want to use the class based selector, you need to use the dot operator, then you need to specify the class name. So the generalized syntax of using the class based selector is you need to use the dot character or period character, then followed by the class name, and then you need to open the curly braces, and then you need to provide the set of property values and separate with a semicolon, and then you can close the curly braces. Now whatever the elements having this class name as class name will be selected to apply this rule. Now let me discuss the class based selector with an example. Let me go to the Notepad++. Instead of using the ID based, I will use the class based. So I will write .1 and then I will use .2. So I will use the two class names. One is 1 and another one is 2. So in place of ID, I will give the class is equal to 1 and then class is equal to 2, and then here I will use the class as 1 and then class also as 2. Let me change the class names also. Okay, now the class names no need to be unique. Okay, we are making certain HTML elements as a single class. Now this first p tag and the third p tag I made it into one class with the class name as 1, and the second p tag and the h1 tag I made them as elements belongs to the class 2. Now whatever the style I have applied to the class 1 will be applied to the tags which are there in the class 1, meaning is that the first p tag and the third p tag will be displayed the font in color red and background color will be yellow, and the second p tag and the H1 tag will be displayed the font in blue color. If you want to observe, let me save this program and go to the browser and let me refresh it. As I said earlier, the tags which belongs to the class 1 will be displayed in red color and background color will be yellow, and the tags which belongs to the class 2 will be displayed using the blue color. I hope you have understood the class based selectors. This is about the simple selectors. In simple selectors, the selector selects an element based on the tag, ID or class. So in simple selectors we have discussed about the tag based selectors, ID based selector and class based selector. Now let me discuss in detail about the combinator selectors. The combinators are explaining the relationship between the two selectors. So the combinator selectors generally use it to provide the relationship between more than one selectors. So combinator selector is a complex selector consisting of more than one selectors connected using combinator. So let's take that you have more than one combination of selector, and if you want to select one element, that you can do using the combinator selectors. There are four types of combinator selectors. One is descendant selector, second one is child selector, third one is adjacent sibling selector, fourth one is general sibling selector. Now let me discuss in detail about the descendant selector. The descendant selector will be represented using the space. So this selector is used to select all the child elements of the specified tag. Now in a specified tag you have various descendants, or you can say various child selectors are there. For all the child selectors, if you want to apply some style, that you can do using the descendant selector. So you will use the parent tag name, space, and then you will provide the child tag, and for the child tag inside the parent tag it will be applying the style. The tags can be direct child of the specified tag or can be very deep in the specified tag. So inside a specified tag, if you have several tags, for all those tags which can be any level, okay, if you want to apply certain rule, that you can do using the descendant selector. This combinator combines the two selectors such that selected elements have an ancestor same as the first selector element. So it applies the style rules for the elements which having the same ancestor as the first selector element. For all of them it will apply the same style. The generalized syntax of using the descendant selector is, you need to use some tag. Let's take that I'm using the div tag. Inside the div tag, if you have the tag p, for that one if you want to apply certain rule, then you can use div space p. So I can say p is the descendant tag of div tag. Now if you want to apply a certain style for this descendant tag called p of the div tag, then you can use the property value, separate with a semicolon and then property value. Like that, if you can apply certain rules to the descendant tag of a particular tag, so you have to use div tag space the p tag. Okay, inside the div tag, wherever the p tag is there, for the tag you can use this style. Now let me discuss this concept practically so that you will understand this concept in a clear way. Let me go to the Notepad++. I will use some div tag. Inside the div tag, let me use some p tags. Okay, let me remove this classes, IDs, etc. so that it will be clear for you. Okay, so inside the div tag I have several p tags are there, and then below of that one I have certain p tags are there, and let me write here as div space p. So you are applying to the descendant P of the div tag. Now this descendant P, in which level it is there in the div tag also, it will be applied. Now I am discussing with one level. Let me discuss with multiple levels later. So whatever the rule you are applying, this rule will be applied to all the P tags inside the div tag. So you have three P tags are there, or three paragraph tags are there. For all the paragraph tags, this rule will be applied. If you want to observe, let me save this one, go to the browser and let me refresh it. As I said earlier, for all the paragraph tags inside the div tag, the style has been applied. The tag which is there outside the div tag, the style has not been applied. Now let me discuss much more complex example. Let's take that in the div tag you have h1 tag. Inside the h1 tag you have the P tag. Does this style will be applied to this P tag or not, we will observe. As I said earlier, the rule will be applied to the all the P tags inside the div tag. So even this P tag is also inside the div tag. So this style will be applied to all the P tags. Let me use some other tag here. Let me use h2. Okay, inside the div tag, inside the h1 tag. Let me give what about you, and then let me close the h2 tag. Now this rule will not be applied to the h2 tag inside the h1 tag. It will be applied to only to the paragraph tag. Let me save this one, go to the browser and let me refresh it. Now you can see, for the hi friends, how are you? I am fine has been displayed in red color and the background color is yellow. But what about you? What are you doing which have been used using the h2 tag and the P tag which is outside the div tag? The style has not been applied. Look at here. What about you is there inside the h2 tag. So that's why the style has not been applied. So like this, if you want to use a combination of more than one selector, that you can do using the combinator selectors. In combinator selectors we have the descendant selector. The descendant selector you can use with the space. Now let me discuss in detail about the child selector which is there in the combinator selectors. The child selector is used to select the element that is the immediate child of the specified tag. Now in the descendant selector, we have applied the style to the descendants of a particular tag. But however, if you want to apply the style to a child element of a specified tag, for that one, if you want to apply the rule, then you can use the child selector. So this selector is used to select the element that is immediate child of the specified tag. Now you can ask me, what is the meaning of child selector? When we discussed about the descendant selector, now for a particular tag, in what level the descendant is there, or in what level the child element is there, you have applied that rule. Look at this example. Now in the div tag you have used the descendant called P. Now in the div tag, in which level the paragraph tag is there, for all the paragraph tags you have applied this rule. However, if you want to make it to the immediate childs only meaning is that inside the div tag, if you have only one level of the paragraph tag, meaning is that for hi friends, how are you, only if you want to apply the style, that you can do using the child selector. If you observe in div tag, we have h1 tag. Inside the h1 tag you have the P tag. Now this paragraph tag is a descendant of h1 and this h1 is a descendant of div. For these things you don't want to apply the rule. Only the immediate descents of the div tag, only if you want to apply, then you can use the child selector. So how you will use the rule? You will use the greater than and then you will use the tag name. So in the div, the immediate child tags called P tags for only you want to apply. Let's take that we have even another h1 tag consists of content Parnika tutorials. Now if you observe, the immediate childs for the div tag is the paragraph tags and h1 tag, but however only for the paragraph tag only the rule will be applied. If you want to observe, let me save it and go to the browser and let me refresh it. If you observe, hi friends, how are you, or the content have been displayed using the paragraph tag, which are immediate child tags of the div tag. For those tags only the content have been displayed using the red color and background color is yellow. For the remaining tags, the content have not been displayed using the red color and background color is yellow. So like this we can use the child selector. So this child selector is stricter than the descendant selector. In descendant selector, wherever the paragraph tag is there, in which level it is there, also we have applied the style. But in the child selector, we have applied the style to the immediate child of the specified tag only. Meaning is that immediate of the div tag of the child tag called p, for that only we have used the rule. So that's why I can say this child selector is stricter than the descendant selectors, because it selects only the second selector if it has the first element as its parent. Only it is selecting the selectors where the first element as the parent, meaning is that only the div tag as the parent. When it comes to this paragraph tag, the parent, immediate parent is h1 only. For that one you did not want to apply. Is it clear? I hope you have understood. Now let me discuss about adjacent sibling selector. The adjacent sibling selector represents using the plus symbol. It is used to select the element that is adjacent or the element that is next to the specified selector tag only. For that one, if you want to apply any style, that you can do with the help of adjacent sibling selector. Now let me discuss with a simple example. Let me go to the Notepad++. If you observe, for the div tag, the immediate adjacent sibling only you want to apply the rule, then you can use this adjacent sibling selector. Let me discuss with a simple example. Let me copy this paragraph tag and paste it, and let me write here, I hope you have visited Parnika tutorials. Okay, if so, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Now if you observe, for the div tag you have various sibling tags are there, like 3 paragraph tags are there, but however you want to apply the style to the adjacent sibling, meaning is that you want to apply the style to the adjacent element that is specified to the selector tag. Means for the div tag you have various siblings are there. This paragraph tag is an sibling, this paragraph tag is also sibling, and this paragraph tag is also sibling. But if you want to apply only to the adjacent sibling, meaning is that this one is the adjacent sibling, for this one only if you want to apply the style, then you can use the adjacent sibling selector, that you can use with the help of plus symbol or plus notation. Now let me save this program, go to the browser and let me refresh it. Now you can see what are you doing has been displayed using the paragraph tag, which is the adjacent selector for the div tag. Only that content have been displayed in red color and background color is yellow. If you want to observe, look at here, what are you doing? This one is the adjacent selector. For this one only if you want to apply any style, that you can do with the help of adjacent sibling selector using the symbol called plus. This combinator selects only one tag that is just next to the specified tag, just next to the specified tag. If you want to apply any style, that you can do with the help of adjacent sibling. Look at here, for this div tag all these are the sibling tags only, but if you want to apply a style to the tag which is just next to the specified tag. After the div tag, whatever the immediate paragraph tag comes, for that one if you want to apply the style, that you can do with the help of adjacent sibling selector. Let's consider that if you want to apply a style to all the siblings of a specified tag, that you can do with the help of general sibling selector. The general sibling selector is used to select the element that follows the first selector and also share the same parent. Look at this one. All these paragraph tags are sibling of the div tag. For all the siblings, if you want to apply any style, then you can use the general sibling selector. If you want to apply the style only to the adjacent selector only, then you can go for the adjacent sibling selector. So in the general sibling selector, if you use the title symbol, then the div tag, all the sibling tags which belongs to the p tag or the paragraph tag, for all of them the style will be applied. Let's consider that you have one h1 tag. Okay, YouTube is for education, not for entertainment. YouTube is for education, not for entertainment or not for fun. Let me write this content using the h1 tag. Okay, now for the div tag, the siblings are these three paragraph tags and h1 tag. Now if you want to apply a style to all the paragraph tags which are siblings of the div tag, then you can go for the general sibling tag. If you want to apply only to the adjacent sibling, then you can go for the adjacent sibling selector. Now this is the general sibling selector. So for the div tag, all the general sibling selectors of P will be selected. If you want to observe what are you doing, I hope you have visited Parnika tutorials. If so, subscribe to the channel. All this content will be displayed in red color and the background color will be displayed using yellow. If you want to observe, let me go to the browser and let me refresh it. You can observe what are you doing. I hope you have visited Parnika tutorials. If so, subscribe to the channel. All this content have been displayed using the red color and the background color is yellow. So like this we can use the general sibling selector. In this video, I have discussed about the simple selector. In simple selector, we have discussed about the tag based selectors, ID based selector and class based selectors. Then we have discussed about the combinator selectors such as descendant selector, child selector, adjacent sibling selector, general sibling selector. I hope it is clear for you. The remaining selectors we will discuss in the next video. So if you have any doubts related to the combinator selectors and simple selectors, you can ask me in the comment section. I will try to clear your doubts as early as possible. Thank you for watching the complete video. Have a nice day.